giving you a vocational leg up on everyone else. Here's our career Sherpa, Julie Bauke.
Well, someone's got a problem today. Somebody's not having a good day, are they? How you doing, Pumpkin?
It's a great day to be me.
It is. What happened?
Yeah.
What would you do?
I was taking a load of clothes at St. Vincent de Paul, and I got pulled over for speeding, and I got a big ticket.
How dirty were those clothes if you had to speed to Vincent de Paul? What was it?
Exactly
What was in the
Dr.
clothes that you had to
said.
get rid of? So, were the evidence or lice? What was going? Bed bugs?
It was a body
Okay.
in a freezer, but a big cooler.
How fast
But
were you
yeah.
going? What'd you get?
Well, 61 in a 45. So it was not terrible, but I was speeding. And you know what? The last two times I got moving violations, I was doing a good deed. First time I was dropping off food at a food pantry. This time I was taping stuff to St. Vincent de Paul. So I think I just need to knock that off.
Yeah, quit being so damn nice, charitable. See, worry about yourself. You don't
Being
get
nice
tickets.
doesn't pay.
61 and a 4. Wow, that's yeah. You're gonna get nailed. You're gonna get nailed. Where was this?
I know. Beachmont Levy.
Okay, so you got sheriff got you.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. All right, all right. Well, pay
And
the
I
fine.
asked him.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Did you
I
call-
asked first. I had to ask him, first of all, how many people are nice when you stop them and how many people are jerks. And he said the vast majority of people are actually very nice, which
Yeah.
I was frankly a little surprised to hear. So Officer Mark Polginski, have a good day. He told me to make sure I pronounce his name correctly. Because then I had to say, what do you like about your job? Because that's what I ask everybody.
Oh my God.
I know. We had a little conversation there in the UDF parking lot.
And you still got a ticket.
I still got a ticket, but that's okay.
Did you try crying? I heard that works sometimes.
No, I do not do that. Like, you know what? Maybe,
That's the way I look at
prefer
it.
to look at it as maybe he caused me to not get in a worse accident later because maybe I'll be more cautious now.
I call it an a-hole tax. I figure if I'm doing 61 and a 40, I deserve what I get because I'm being stupid.
Exactly. It was, and you know what? I know better. The Beachmont Levy just is, it's a speed trap.
Right.
But
Right,
anyway.
right.
So
Well, there you
anyway.
go. All right, so Officer Mark, good job. Next time, get the taser and canine, though, because she's a fugitive from justice. She would
Definitely was hoping for the taser.
Trying to charm him out of running
was
your...
not.
Yeah,
I was not.
I got
don't
it.
do that.
I got
I
it.
don't play that game.
All right, so Julie Balki is our scofflaw career Sherpa here.
I am
She's
calling you from the Hamilton County
tough
Jail.
on crime over here, too. This is your two-man... Yeah, maybe the only thing iHeartMedia paid for is this phone call. Anyway, let's talk about... This is interesting. We've always talked, Julie, about career advice on Wednesdays, and we've always talked about, okay, your job sucks, how to get in my job, my boss is a jerk, when can I retire, how do I know it's time to leave? This is an interesting one because we flipped the script here. So the idea is that, hey, the best life I can do is I'll quit my job. I will move to some subtropical climate somewhere on a beach. I'll start my own business, a website from some sort of hammock in a beachside villa sipping Coronas or whatever while natives rub and massage my feet and feed me grapes. Well, that may sound good and look good and all that. The reality is it's probably not going to happen for you. But is there a way to fall in love with your job? You used to like the job. Now you hate the job. Is there a way to fall back in love again with your job?
Sometimes. I mean, it depends. So, you have to look at why. What is it about your job or your situation that is displeasing to you? And frankly, yeah, sometimes it's you. Sometimes you're not holding up your end of the bargain. We can't look at a job as I'm going to go there and just sit there and everyone's going to do everything they can to make all my dreams come true. If that's your attitude, then if you go start something on your own, you're going to be even more sorely disappointed because you're not even going to get paid to just sit there. So I think the first thing to figure out is, even if you did used to like it, what changed? Sometimes it's you got a new boss who you guys just don't see eye to eye, or your role has changed and it's not the best use of your skills anymore. And so you're kind of struggling to do a good job because it's just not something that you're great at or you like to do. So you have to break it down and say, if I was ever in love or even in like with my job, then what changed? Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's your values and priorities changed. Maybe something at home changed. And so therefore the job isn't doing it anymore. So before you can figure out if you can fall back in love with your job, you have to figure out, did I not love it in the first place? or did I fall out of love? And either way, just running off and opening up a snow cone stand on the beach somewhere is not necessarily the answer. I think sometimes we think that running away and self-employment is the answer to all of our problems. But it could be, but you have to go through a diagnosis and trying to fix it first. It's like if your car starts making funny noises, you don't take it to the dump, and go straight to the dealer. So you got to figure out, is it worth fixing where I am? Do I want to fix it? And, if not, then what's going to make me happier? But I think it always has to start with a good diagnosis of what's going on where you are.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Julie Bauke, our Career Sherpa on the AcuteHearingCenters.com hotline this morning, and talking about falling in love with your job again, too. And you could spend a lot of time looking for a new gig, or just go, man, is the easier road simply to fix the situation I have where I'm at right now?
Yeah. If it's fixable, and you're right, it is this fixable. And if you have a boss who's pretty much said, you're screwing up, I don't like you, you're not getting any assignments that you care about, there's no future for you there, or, frankly, if you've gotten crosswise with the owner of the company, then in those cases, if it's not a situation where you think you can wait out or time will ease the situation, then it may be time to move on. But if you just say, I'm out of here, and you change jobs, then that in and of itself is stressful. Mm-hmm. Because going to a new place where they don't know you, you have no idea what you're walking into, you don't know if you're walking into a big mess, a worse mess than you left.
Yeah.
So, and then all of a sudden you've got a job change on your resume. So always try to fix it where you are first, but you have to break it down and say, what's the problem? Is this fixable with a conversation? It's the temptation to just run is overwhelming, especially after a really bad day. But are you having the right conversation? Are you saying, have you figured out what's not working? Mm-hmm. Have you figured out what would fix it? And then who do you have those conversations with? And that's it's hard, but so is just getting up and moving on and trying something else. You're jumping from the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah, because you're starting clean there. At least you have a history, and maybe they like you at this place too. And they're like, well, but I feel like I'm not getting everything I want to out of the job. And I think that's important too, is try and work the problem. And maybe the fear is too, is like, I don't want to go to these guys and sound like I'm complaining, because are they going to hold it against me, or are they just going to tell me to shove it and I'm going to be even more unhappy? Do bosses generally think that way?
Well, you know what? We are in a time where everybody's talking about how do I get people. It's equally important, even more important, I think, to talk about how to keep the people I have. And so those conversations around what would cause you to leave. What is it that you would like to, if I could wave a magic wand, what would you like to have more of or less of on your work plate? So that the employer should be doing that. But as the employee, initiating those conversations are okay too, because if you get kind of the go back to work and shut up, I have your answer.
It's a good thing you work for a cell phone company, Julie, because yours sucks right now. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm standing still.
Oh.
I'm in the Hamilton County Jail, Floney.
Well, they get great cell reception there. Inmates all smuggle cell phones in, or at least try to anyway. So.
All right, sorry. Is this better?
Right.
Sorry, I moved.
What, are they frisking you right now? Is that what's the cavity search or whatever is going on?
I wish.
Oh, my. Now, Julie Bauke's here on 700 WOW. She's our Career Sherpa on the AcuteHearingCenters.com hotline. And today's topic is falling in love with your job again. You may not like it or displeased or simply think you hate it. Maybe you don't. And I've seen that before. Actually, I did that once, too, where I quit a job that I didn't like. And I thought, okay, grass is greener. I got a job that I really didn't like. And I don't think I wished I was back at the old job, but I questioned my sanity at that point, why I took this job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to know why you're changing, why you're thinking about changing. The first conversation with yourself is, what's wrong? Can I fix it? And you've got to be willing to take those steps to try. If you are valued, then the organization should try to help you fix what's not working. But sometimes it's not something that can be fixed. Maybe the organization's values you don't agree with.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going in a direction that's not where you want to take your career. So then don't just run. You want to say, okay, what do I want next? What does it look like, smell like, taste like? How can I get it? Put together a plan. That's what we help clients do.
Gotcha.
It's help you figure out what your next best move is, not just any old move. Because anybody in this market can make any old move.
Julie Balki, what happens if, though, it's okay, I'm falling back in love with my job. What if you just simply don't give a damn anymore? It's like, I'm on like on the back, back nine maybe of my life, but maybe on the 16th, 17th hole. Maybe I'm in the last 2 minutes of my work game, and you just simply don't care anymore.
You know what? Okay. I think it's really important to understand what role work plays in your life. And if you're on the back nine and you are confident that you are contributing at a level that is still valued, and you want to put in the minimum effort to get the work done, if that's okay with you and that's okay with the organization, okay. I mean, who am I to say you need to be jumping up and down clapping every morning when you go to work? The risk of that is that when you are just phoning it in, it's obvious. To most organizations, it's obvious, and you increase your risk of being laid off. When there's a time for a downturn or being replaced, when there's time for a downturn or to bring in new people, you may be on the top of the list because it's obvious that you're not trying. And sometimes when we get toward the end of our career, we just think, it's just 2 years. I'll just phone it in for 2 years. Well, the organization, if you're not doing a decent job, the organization knows that. And how would you like to be laid off a year before retirement?
Yeah.
Now try to find a new job while you're 62, 63.
Do you really think they'd lay Willie off?
No, I don't.
Okay, see, me neither. So you can phone it in. That's cool.
You can phone it in.
That's all good.
Yeah, as long, it's what does your employer expect? If you're being talked to about about your performance and you're not doing what they expect you to do, and you're kind of like, you can't live without me. If you've got any sort of an attitude that resembles that, you may find out quickly they can live without you. You have to pay attention to the signals. But it's a very different conversation when you're trying to make it for the last 6 to 12 months, as if you're 45 and saying, only 20 more years so I can retire. That's foolish.
What if you work for a company where it seems like everyone above you is phoning it in? Then what happens?
Yeah, you know what? If phoning it in is what you want to do, then you may be able to survive because that's the company culture. If mediocrity is accepted, then that becomes a company culture.
That's a company culture.
Good people leave. Right. Well, absolutely. People who want to develop and grow will quit. And so all it does is it creates more mediocrity. But if you're looking around saying, this is not okay for me, unless you see a big leadership change coming, you probably need to find something else to do. People aren't going to all of a sudden catch on fire.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's a slimy corollary. It's you can't care more than the people you work for.
It's true.
It's so true.
But,
it's so
I
true.
mean, if you find yourself in that situation and you're not in a position to make a change yet, you have to say to yourself, okay, instead of just coasting along until I can make a change, what can I do in place to build my skills, to learn as much as I can, to make myself attractive and valuable to the market? Because when you do start to look, the questions are going to be, tell me about what you accomplished in your last job. And you want to have stories to tell. It's not okay to say everybody was phoning it in, so I decided, what the heck, me too, so I did. That's not okay. And so really this is about managing your own brand and your own career. What stories are you building? What stories are you going to tell?
Yeah. If you can't live yourself, that's the thing is, man, if you're phoning it, you feel like, I don't want to phone it, I don't want to phone it in, and others around you are, that's going to lead to a miserable existence. I would never phone it in, Julie. We recorded this segment about 2 weeks ago. I'm actually out golfing right now because I knew today would be such a nice day on this June 26, 2019 at 10:50
Can you come bail me out after your round?
Yeah, you know what? I think the whole Julie Balki and women's prison thing, it's like Orange is the New Black.
Let's have a spin-off on that.
Yeah, right.
I'll get everybody in the jail to be career happy.
Julie falling in love with Julie having love affairs with other women while wearing prison stripes. Fantastic.
It's been done.
Yeah, it has. It's been done.
Cincinnati version. Orange is the new black. Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, black is a new orange in some cases.
In Cincinnati.
All right, Julie. Thanks again for the time. I appreciate it.